Ay, ang suspect doon sa pagpatay doon sa anak ni Marisa ay member ng Philippine National Police?
Yes, sir. These are the, I think you can discuss it and the lawyers also more. These are unfortunately right here because Marisa is from Payatas and this is in short QCPD Station 6.
So pwede ba nating marinig ang
Yes.
kwento ni Marisa?
I often bring that up po na how can there be a police station which kills 100 people in a year's time and there's no investigation? Why that?
So how many people were killed in Payatas alone?
Station 6 po, their whole area of responsibility 100. Umabot po ng 100.
So ang area is only Station 6.
Yes.
Yung Station 6 yan yung Payatas.
Yes, and in the first year of the Duterte administration, lamampas po ng, I think it's 102 or 100.
102 ang namatay.
Killed by the PNP of Station 6.
Okay. At ito ay related sa drugs.
Yes, and
Ang
in the
mga suspect ay ang mga biktima ay mga drug dependents, pushers.
yes, and in Marisa's case po, there was only one who was really wanted and as listed in the pre-operations report, but 5 were killed. So,
Okay, so, pwede ba natin marinig ang kwento ni Marisa? Marisa, ang iyong anak ang biktima dito, no?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Pwede bang malaman kung ilang taon ang iyong anak?
Ay, 17 years old po.
So 17 years old siya. Siya ba ay kasama sa drugs watch list ng Quezon City Police?
Hindi po.
How about sa PIDEA? Nandun din ba siya? Wala siya. So wala siyang history na siya ay gumagamit o siya ay na-involved sa pagbibenta.
Wala po. No record po siya sa barangay ng Payatas.
So walang record.
Wala po.
So pwede bang malaman paano nangyari yung insidente? Kung okay lang sa iyo, Kung okay lang sa iyo.
Yung time na po yung nangyari po, bali, head po ako,
Pakilapit mo lang yung mic sa
head po ako ng street sweeper po ng Payatas. May tao po akong namatay yung asawa, nagbigil po kami. Bari Sampaguita Extension po, bundok kasi yun. Nagpaalam siya sa akin, bababa doon sa baba kasi may birthday case. Ang nangyari doon, tinawag siya doon sa kang Sherwin Pulo na nakalista sa watchlist sa Barangay Payatas. Inutusan siya na pinabili ng sigarilyo. Pagdating doon, pagkatapos niyang biling sigarilyo, bumalik doon sa bahay. Si kang Sherwin, yun nangyari ng putukan na doon po siya namatay po sa loob ng bahay. Mayroon pong survivor na si Harold Alvaro, 8 years na hanggang ngayon hindi na-imbestiga po siya. Siya po ang buhay. Ang kasong nang nalagay sa kanya, direct assault.
Kinasuhan siya ang kinasuhan.
Opo, yung survivor po na isa.
Okay,
Malilima
so,
sila, 4 ang patay.
General Salvador, I don't know kung pwede nating itanong dun sa station, Station 6?
Station 6 po.
O na until now, 8 years ago, the incident happened and until now, wala pang investigation na ginagawa.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, we will look into this. We will check the record, Your Honor.
Okay, salamat. Thank you. So, sige, Mr. Sarmiento.
regarding Harold Arevalo po, actually he was acquitted on November 17, 2017 for the direct assault charge, which therefore belies the claim na naglaban. So, and further decisions po by Ombudsman, and also, by the way, this case involves a decision from the Office of the President, which was released on May 25, 2022, before Mr. Duterte stepped down.
Okay.
So, about this case. And they all ignore this decision
Sige.
by the MTC of QC as if it doesn't exist, na si Harold Arevalo po ay naging acquitted. Kaya I think we would like to ask the body if he could be subpoenaed to appear, because anyway, no one has ever talked to him.
Okay, siguro what we can do, kasi first time pa lang namin narinig yung kwentong yan, no? And tama-tama, andito ang ating Philippine National Police na pwede nating hingian ng assistance tungkol dyan kung bakit hanggang ngayon, 8 years after the incident, ay wala pa rin investigation na ginagawa. So siguro, in the next hearing, aasahan namin na nandito pa rin ikaw, Miss Marisa, no?
Yes po, Your
At mas malaking maitutulong sa aming komite kapag ikaw ay magbibigay sa amin ng iyong sinumpaang salaysay. At base doon, kami po'y maaaring makatulong sa inyo. I'd like to ask Mr. Sarmenta to, if possible, you, assist si Miss Marisa sa mga kailangan ng komite.
Yes, Your Honor. Along with the Dargon Law Office po.
Okay, so we heard this story. Alam na po natin ang ano natin. Is this Attorney Conti? Is this part of? Is the story of Miss Marisa one of the cases that you handled?
No, Your Honor. As they mentioned, they have their own lawyers from Dargon Law Firm. But I would affirm the fact of filing of charges against the victims po. Marami din po kaming kaso na ganyan na kung sa kanila po yung survivor, kinasuhan ng frustrated murder, sa amin yung iba patay na, kinakasuhan pa po. Kasi parang ang gustong sabihin ng pulis, totoo na ano to, na nanlaban, totoo na drug addict to, o kung ano man. Kaya kakasuhan nila ng illegal possession. And that is pointless kasi po hindi pwedeng kasuhan ng patay. Kaya po, perhaps as a suggestion, Mr. Chair, perhaps the PNP could identify how many cases they have filed against deceased persons or even those that are drug-related para makita kung may silbi ba to sa atin at kung gumagastos ng ba tayo ng pera sa wala dun sa kanilang naratibo na mali naman pala.
Okay. So, General
Mr. Chair.
Salvador, I hope we took note of the statement made by Attorney Conti, and that data would also be helpful so sa committee in the writing of our committee report. Can you submit to us the data that Attorney Conti has just mentioned?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Abante.
A while ago, Congressman Romy Acop asked a question to the PDP National Police on the issue of how many thousands of those na nanlaban, ano. In fact, in our last Quadcom hearing, Mr. Chair, binanggit ko pa nga na if there are more than 7,000 na mga biktimang nanlaban, there should be more than 7,000 also evidences of that in the crime lab of the Philippine National Police. So I do not know if they have actually a data on that, no? Because I have even mentioned here at last hearing that we ought to make an ocular inspection to the crime lab of the Philippine National Police to find out if there are indeed more than 7,000 evidences, whether it be firearms or mga patalim, no? So that we'll be able to know kung talagang itong mga taon to, nanlaban to. Now, if the Philippine National Police would assume that there are more than 7,000 nanlaban, therefore, there must be more than 7,000 evidences that the Philippine National Police has. If not, then yung mga kulang, ang mga ebidensya, hindi nanlaban yung mga yan. Sapagkat alam ko naman na yung mga evidence na yan, I'd like to ask the Philippine National Police, diba, pag kayo nag-lock up ng mga, for example, like ito, ang ginamit nito ay paltik, ang ginamit nito ay 45 o 38. Meron niyang nakalagay kung anong taon yan at kung sinong pangalan ng napatay na yan. Di ba? Am I right, Major General?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. It's all in the disposition of the forensic group, Your Honor.
Of the crime lab. Who is the head of the crime lab right now?
Right now, Your Honor, is Police Brigadier General Sembrano, Your Honor.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chair, that we invite the head of the crime lab to appear in the next committee Quadcom hearing so that he will be able to give us the data or explain to us the evidences that has been in the crime lab, Mr. Chair. So I move.
There is a motion, as stated by Congressman Abante. Duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Chair, addition lang po.
Yes,
Doon
Congresswoman
sa-
Castro.
So, hindi lang po, Mr. Chair, yung mga paltik o yung mga baril na ginamit nung nanlaban. No? Kung ilan yan, 7,000 po yan, Mr. Chair. Dahil may namatay, dapat po ay alam din po natin yung ginamit sa pagpatay. I mean, yung police. Na halimbawa may operation yan, nanlaban, may paltik yung nanlaban, pero yung mga police po, yung kanilang ginamit na baril, dapat po ay naka-record din. O meron din tayong report. Hindi po ba? So para makita rin natin.
Confiscated, di ba?
Yes, confiscated. Dahil, di ba sinasabi ng batas na kapag merong namatay, dapat talagang naiimbestigahan. Hindi lang po yung baril ng nalaban. At yung mga evidences nung bumaril, no, kailangan nandiyan din po. So, tanong ko po sa PNP, na-preserve din po ba yung mga ganong mga evidences? Para makita natin, Mr. Chair, kung ano yung tumama anong bullets, magkaroon ng matching, Mr. Chick.
Yes, General Salvador, please reply.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, normally all encounters, armed confrontation, are placed in scene of crime operations procedures. So it has all the SOCO report, and therefore all evidences are in custody of the SOCO, and normally it is being prepared and being readied for if required by the court. So, with all the presumptions that these are covered by reports, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair, follow up.
yes.
Ang tanong ko po, na-preserve din ba yung mga baril na ginamit ng police doon sa scene of the crime? Yun po yung tanong ko doon. Or ginamit lang yan and then ginamit pa rin siyang service firearms? So yun po yung tanong natin doon sa police.
Your Honor, that can be answered once the Director of Forensic Group will be present, because as I have mentioned, these are all covered by SOCO reports, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, ano ba yung procedure?
Yeah, pwede bang malaman na General kung ano ang procedure? Halimbawa, nagkaroon ng inkwentro at napatay ang kalaban ng mga Philippine National Police, kawani ng Philippine National Police. Hindi ba kinukuhaan ng ballistic records yung baril ng police at saka yung baril ng nanlaban?
Normally, Your Honor, tulad ng nabanggit natin sa operational procedure kasi natin, it is being subjected to scene of crime operations, procedures, and tulad yung may mga namamatay, tama po kayo, aside doon sa firearms, all pieces of evidence collected in the crime scene are preserved and it is being placed under the disposition and custody of the crime lab.
So including the firearm of the PNP member?
Normally, Your Honor, if there is findings of irregularity, doon na lang nagkakaroon ng requirement to submit the firearms of those involved in the operations. So long as the findings is within the regular performance of the duty of the police officers, most likely hindi na po nire-require yung gano'n.
Okay. So yan
If
yung,
there's only a findings of irregularity, Your Honor.
so yan yung SOP, no? Yan yung kapag may findings of irregularity, then you confiscate the firearms. Pag wala, hindi kino-confiscate.
Hindi po, Your Honor. Kung ano lang yung na-collect sa crime scene, yun lang ang pinipreserve natin.
Does that satisfy Congresswoman
Mr. Chair,
Castro?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair.
Congresswoman Castro first. Sige.
Mr. Chair, parang may mali doon. 'Di ba? Kasi may namatay ng laban. So ginamit yung ginamit yung baril ng pulis para ma-apprehend o mamatay yung kalaban ng pulis.
Your Honor, but
ang problema, Mr. Chair, para makagawa tayo in aid of legislation, no, parang tingin ko may mali doon. Kasi hindi po naiimbestigahan eh. So kailangan maimbestigahan. So kahit man lang, ito yung tinatawag nating presumption of regularity. No, dapat ma-define yan talaga kung paano, no? So hindi pwedeng may namatay na lang, tanggapin na lang yan kasi nanlaban yan. At
Siguro,
adik yan, whatever.
yeah.
So yun po,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair,
Chair.
related doon sa
Yeah,
sinabi ni Congresswoman Franz Castro, no? Ano ba yung procedure nyo? For example, like, we know for a fact that not all of the victims' relatives would file a case against the police, correct? So, kung hindi sila mag-file ng case, Major General, anong ginagawa ng ating kapulisan kung meron pong napatay na nanlaban na hindi nakapag-file ng anumang complaint?
Tulad po na nabanggit namin, aside sa SOCO, meron po tayong motu proprio investigation na kinokonduct ng Internal Affairs Service. So, lahat po ng ganung nanlaban cases, encounters, there is an independent investigation being initiated by the IAS. At,
Okay, independent po yan, no?
Yes po.
Ngayon, ito. Nabanggit nyo kanina that you only confiscate the firearms when there is irregularity. Alright.
Tama po yan.
Now, anong ginagawa ninyo sa ating kapulisan when there is irregularity?
Well, due process is initiated by way of requiring these people to submit themselves for investigation, tulad na po na yung firearms. And normally, they are being held under restriction so that they can answer for all the investigations being initiated by the unit. So yun po yung proseso. Para po magiging impartial yung investigation, hindi maka-impluensya yung involved, normally they are being held under restriction or being relieved from the positions they previously hold.
Do you have a list of that, Mr. Chair? Do you have a data, a list of those policemen that have killed in response to the action of the victims? Do you have a list of irregularity na mga pulis natin or wala?
The better office that can respond to that, Your Honor, is the Internal Affairs Service.
All right, Mr. Chair. So I again would like to make a motion that we invite the head of the IAS to come in our next hearing to shed light on the issue of the mga nanlaban na mga biktima po sa ating mga kapulisan. So I move.
Comsec, please take note of the request of Congressman Abante.
Mr. Chair, meron lang
Mr.
akong
Chair,
clarification.
may also-
With the indulgence, sige, si Congresswoman
Last na
Castro,
po.
and then si Congressman Dan
Ugnay na lang
Fernandez.
po doon sa topic. So, Mr. Chair, may I also move that we subpoena po yung SOCO, yung report ng SOCO dito sa 7,000 plus o 7,060 ba na ng sinasabing nanlaban. So, pwede po bang... I move, Mr. Chair.
So, there's a motion to subpoena the SOCO report on the 7,000 deaths under di ba DUI ang tawag doon? Deaths under investigation by the Philippine National Police and to be submitted to the committee. So, did we get a copy? Do we have a report? So, none yet. So, may we ask the PNP to submit those records to the committee as stated in the motion of Congresswoman Castro to subpoena all these documents. The motion was duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved. So, Congressman Dan
meron lang
Fernandez.
akong clarify, General Salvador. Kasi parang nadinig ko kanina kapag merong irregularity, saka lang kino-confiscate yung mga na evidences na galing sa crime scene.
Both, Your Honor, regularity or someone who will initiate a complaint. Ibig sabihin kung may magpapile from the victim.
So, ibig sabihin, yung mga ebidensya na nandun sa crime, like, for example, yung mga ginamit sa panlaban. O so, pag may irregularity lang, with final decision, saka mo lang siya dadalhin sa crime lab?
Magkakaroon po ng investigation based doon sa findings nga po na SOCO.
Okay. So, kung ano nagkaroon ng investigation, tapos sa investigation, ang nagko-conduct nun, sino? Ang IAS?
Ang IAS,
So,
aside,
pag nagkaroon sila ng final decision, what happened to the firearms that was collated doon sa mga different crime scenes?
it is normally becomes the evidence, Your Honor.
No.
But yung
Evidence
disposition...
on- For example, nagkaroon ng decision ng IAS at sinabi nila walang irregularity. So, yung mga firearm na nakuha, hindi na itatago sa crime lab?
binabalik na po yun sa unit or sa individual concerned, Your Honor.
Hindi. Ang sinasabi...
Normally, Your Honor, these firearms are only requested by the forensic for ballistics.
No. You're talking about the firearm ng police.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm talking
Tama po
about the
yun.
firearm or mga weapon na ginamit doon ng mga taong nanlaban. Di ba, meron di kayong mga nakuwang mga weapon di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Doon sa crime scene. So, nung nakuha niyo yung weapon at the personality na involved were subjected to an investigation and it was decided by the IAS na walang irregularity, what happened doon sa mga weapons nung mga nanlaban na biktima?
Yun na nga po, Your Honor, na nasa disposition ito ng crime lab ng forensic group. And in fact, I heard there was already a motion.
Yes, I
We're
know.
going to
So,
produce this.
hindi mo alam na, kasi parang kanina, pag may walang irregularity, yung mga weapon, parang I heard na hindi na siya inilalagay sa crime lab So, tinidispose na ba siya or...
Hindi po. It remains
In the
an
crime lab.
evidence sa crime lab.
So, anong element of time na nandun siya?
Anyway, Your Honor, as I believe the
Best
director
person
of the
to answer
forensic
that is,
group has already
okay.
been sa...
Thank you, Gerald Salvador.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask the victim's relatives, ano po ang pangalan niya? Miss Sarmenta.
Marisa,
Joel.
Hindi po,
Mr. Joel Sarmenta.
Joel Sarmenta po.
hindi po, itong
Marisa Hamoy
Miss
po.
Marisa Hamoy.
Marisa Hamoy.
Miss Amoy. Kayo po ba ay nag-file ng complaint?
yes po.
Okay.
Yes, sir. She filed I was with them when they filed the
She
case.
filed the complaint.
November 7, 2017.
When she filed the complaint, Mr. Chair, what charges did she file? Was it murder or homicide?
Hindi po parang connected sa when the AS elevated it, parang nasa na po grave neglect of duty, mga ganon, hindi murder po.
I think,
Within
when
the years.
Miss Hamoy would file, syempre, she would file that her 17-year-old son was killed and was murdered, correct? Pupunta yan sa IAS, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pagdating sa IAS, babaguhin nila, gagawin nilang homicide, am I right? Tama ho ba ako, Miss Hamoy?
Medyo, hindi kami sir, but I recently reread the later IAS report. It's connected to...
Mr. Sarmenta, can you look into that? Because this is very vital You know, the fact that naniniwala po si Miss Hamoy na pinatay ang anak niya na hindi naman po ito drug pusher o hindi drug addict, hindi drug pusher ito, alright, pero pinatay yung anak niya, naniniwala po ba kayo na yung pumatay sa anak niyo, pulis?
Walang question about whether it was
Okay,
really
walang
death
question
threat.
dyan. Pangalawa, ito, naniniwala ba kayo na pinatay po ng walang hawak na patalim o baril ang anak ninyo?
Yes po, naniwala po.
Therefore, hindi po nanlaban. Correct po.
Yes, sir. And as proven by the acquittal po of Harold Arevalo, the survivor, in the case filed by QCPD for direct assault.
Hindi po, yung charge na kanyang dinimanda dahil lang sa biktima. Oo, dun sa pulis na dinimanda niya. Ibig sabihin, dapat yan, ang demanda ni Ms. Hamoy would be murder. Tama ho ba ako?
I can check on the ES right now, sir. Maybe I'll get back to you in a few minutes.
Yes,
I have
because this is quite vital. Very important po ito.
Yes,
Na
sir.
bakit babaguhin ng IAS ang demanda na homicide samantalang murder ang demanda ng kamag-anak ng biktima? Hindi pwedeng baguhin yan. In court, it must be murder ang demanda po dyan. And this is something that we have to look into, Mr. Chair, because this is quite revealing, no, sa atin. And I think that our people should realize this, na marami na mga demanda ang complaint ang mga kamag-anak ng biktima na hindi nanlaban ang mga anak, na ang dapat i-demanda ay murder, yet nawala ng bisa yung murder. Naging homicide yan. Sapagkat ang katuwiran po ng Philippine National Police, nanlaban po lahat yan. Am I right, Mr. Zamenta?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I'd like also to bring up that she did file at the IAS, and there's something that's lately I don't notice that's being brought up in the committee in the past hearings. There are, in terms of the previous questions po about investigation, sanctions, there is that DOJ listing of 52 cases released on October 19, 2021, which DOJ admitted came from IAS, and it doesn't include her case. And this DOJ listing of 52 cases of October 2021 doesn't list any of the crucial or the sensitive cases. Parang na cherry pick po na medyo very slight cases lang po yun nandun sa 52. This is an offshoot of then DOJ Secretary Minardo Guevara telling the UN Human Rights Council in March, I think, or April of 2021, that there were irregularities, and the irregularities are about 500.
So he said that, Mr. Chair.
Yes, he said
Sinabi niya yan.
before the UN. And but I think the state sort of lost its motivation because in between that time, the ICC still continued. So by the time lumabas na naging watered down to 52 po, and our other honorable members were asking about sanctions. You will be surprised if you read the list. Some of the sanctions are like 60 days suspension.
Therefore, Mr. Chair, if the Secretary of the Department of Justice made a statement that there are irregularities, what did the Philippine National Police do about that?
Chair, Mr. Chair, this is part of, that's why they started compiling that through IAS, and they came up with a list of 52 by October 19 of 2021. But strangely, especially because she filed at IAS, Marisa Hamoy filed at IAS, their case is not there, even if it's a massacre. And along with so many, the cases I mentioned, Gonzales case, already decided by Court of Appeals by that time, is not there. Gonzales Antipolo case. Bertes case inside the Pasay City PNP, not there also in the DOJ listing of 52. It's very strange that many of the controversial cases are not there. A year after I was researching on the list, actually, during that time, baka naman nagbago na po, but during that time, I looked at it, there's at least almost 20 of the 52, you will never find them on the internet.
Okay, Major General, who was the Director General during that time, 2021? Because I don't think that you are party of that. Hindi mo alam yun, di ba?
Are you referring to the IG of IAS then, Your Honor?
Sir, we immediately complained to him, General Guillermo Ilazar. It's very significant because actually Marisa Hamoy, when General Guillermo Ilazar was QCPD head, met Ilazar at least 3 times.
All right. Mr. Mayor General, therefore, who should we invite to shed light on this revelation that Mrs. Sermente has said? Who do you think should we invite in the Philippine National Police during that time?
Your Honor, allow us first to check into the records because previously we were required to check this, especially the case being mentioned, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that we invite the DOJ, who during that time was the head, including Mr. Chair, the maybe Director General Eliazar, to shed light on what Mr. Sermenta has said. So I move, Mr. Chair.
Comsec?
Mr. Chair, if I may add, there was a murder charge. This is the one filed at the
Mr. Chair,
Ombudsman.
point of order.
Yes. What is the point of order, Congressman Akop?
There's a motion filed by the Honorable Abante, and the Chair has not yet ruled on the motion of the Honorable
Yes.
Abante.
That is correct. Yes, I'd like to rule on the motion first of Congressman Abante to invite General Elezar and General and DOJ, no, in the next scheduled committee hearing of the Quad Committee. And Secretary, the former DOJ Secretary, Secretary Solgen Minad Guevara. So, any second? Duly seconded. Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, continue. Please continue.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Attorney Conti.
Sorry, Your Honor, but at this point, point of information regarding the 52 cases that were mentioned. Your Honor, this has already been discussed prior. If I recall from the hearing June 5th, 2024, the DOJ presented the list of 52 cases and said that they had already forwarded the cases with recommendation for filing of charges or case building to the NBI. If you would recall po, si Judge Santiago po yung nagsabi na they investigated it, and in the 52 cases, 30 have been closed temporarily for lack of information.
Mr. Chair, forwarded where?
NBI, Your Honor.
NBI.
Yes,
For
Your
the
Honor.
filing of cases.
But, yes, Your Honor, and just an
For the
additional-
filing
For
pa.
filing. So yung 30 po, kumbaga, wala nang na-file. But I agree, the 52 cases are what the DOJ and this government or the previous government said constitutes an investigation. Pumunta sila ng UN, pumunta sila ng ICC, nag-investigate naman kami. 52 cases. None of these cases, or 2 cases were in Caloocan. No cases were mentioned in Bulacan. Kaya hindi po representative yung 52 cases investigated. And just a note, NBI said that they had 400 cases being investigated. So, kumbaga, puro po numbers, pero wala naman po.
So you were saying,
pinatutunguhan.
Mr. Chair, you were saying that the NBI was actually remiss in investigating the 52 cases.
Well, yes, Your Honor. Meaning, kumbaga, yung DOJ investigation na ipasa na daw sa NBI for prosecution, yung NBI naman sinasabi, wala na daw na impormasyon. Actually, ang binabato naman, yung biktima daw kasi hindi nagpa-file ng kaso. Ako, wala po akong kaso dun sa 52 na ini-investigate nila eh. Talagang kulang na kulang po yung pinagsimulan ng information.
NBI, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Director Levin.